Hi guys, and welcome to the third episode of the Bakugan team preview. As you can see, I got a haircut. It was due time to do it. It was getting too big. Now for this episode, you can see Survival Hero is going to be a triple faction team with Chaos, Pyrus, and Ventus. That being Garganoid Ultra Chaos, Pyrus Hydorus, and Ventus Fangzor. Now, quick notice, these decks that I'm currently putting out are not necessarily going to be meta decks. They are also not going to be the best decks around. These decks currently are what I think is going to be fun to try out or to play with, but not necessarily the best decks ever. Since the game has not been released, I haven't got the chance to playtest the game, to see what's good, to see what's not good, but these are just what I think would be fun. Okay, let's start this one out. First off, Chaos Garganoid Ultra. He has a B power of 400, a damage rating of 4, and the cores you need will be a SD and an FD. Now, as you read in the title, this deck is about heroes. That means if you play heroes, you most likely want to play Chaos as well, and then there's only really one Bakugan that synergizes really well for them, and that is going to be Hyper Garganoid Ultra, which is his evolution card. That when you control 3 or more heroes, he gets boosted, but more on that later. 400 B power and full damage is really good to start out with. It's a nice turn 1, or maybe you want to keep him to evolve him later, but it's just going to be good in general to start out with. Then next one we have Pyrus Hydorus. He has a B power of 400 and a damage rating of 3, so basically the same as Garganoid Ultra, but he just has 1 less damage. The cores you need are an SD and an MS. Now, why Pyrus in this deck? It's actually mostly to play Dan, but more on that later. But Pyrus has some nice utility to keep you alive, like removing cores from the opponent, or some nice boosting chances and this and that. But more on that later. Now, Ventus Fangzor. He has a B power of 300 and a damage of 3. Basically the same as a Pyrus Hydorus, just a little bit less B power. The cores you need are an SD and an FF. But what makes Ventus Fangzor so good is when he opens up, you lower the opponent's Bakugan by 1 damage. Now, Fangzor is just in general a good Bakugan. Actually for each archetype, but I think this Ventus one is really good to stay alive, and that's why we have Ventus in this team. They have a lot of ramping, but also a lot of cards that will save your ass till the late game, so you can play your heroes and snowball out of control. For the evolution cards, we're going to use Hyper Fangzor. Sorry guys, I don't have an image for that. I couldn't find a clear one, but it's a 2-cost card that says when it opens, opposing Bakugan gets -3 damage rating, so it's actually just an upgrade of its standard one, and he gets a boost in B power and a boost in damage, boosting him up to 400 B power and 6 damage respectively. Now this is not like an amazingly impactful card, but it's really good. If you have it turn 2, it might just win you that battle, or if your opponent battles with a 3 or less damage Bakugan and he doesn't get to boost that stat, then he might just not do any damage, which is what we really want in this deck. Now, next one is Hyper Garganoid Ultra. I told you about him before, but now more in depth. It's a 3 energy card, so you can play him on turn 3 if you want. It states if you have 3 or more heroes in play, plus 500 B and plus 5 damage. Now the effect is most likely not going to get into effect on turn 3 necessarily, because you have to somehow find a way to get 3 heroes out on turn 3, which is highly unlikely, but maybe if someone finds a way to do that. But its stats aren't that bad. It has 700 base B power and 5 damage, which is pretty good. And we also have Hyper Hydrus, which is also a 3 energy cost card. He has 800 B power and 4 damage, and when you play an action on that card, it gets +2. So also not a bad turn 3 play, maybe a turn 4 play with like a 1 cost card, so he also gets 6 damage in, but that we'll have to see. It's just evolution cards are, in my opinion, necessary in every deck. Then for the hero cards, we'll start out with Winton Styles. Sorry guys, I also didn't find a very clear image of this one. He is a 4 energy card, and he is the one that will ramp you up, and this is a very important card in your deck. It states when you open a Bakugan, you may energize the top card of your deck. If you have 15 or more energy cards in play, your Bakugan have plus 1500 B. Now the second part of this effect is just a nice extra boost, but it's kind of more a win more card, because when you have 15 or more energy cards in play, you should almost win the game already. But the energizing the top card of your deck is really good, since you need to be able to play your heroes, and most heroes are pretty high cost because they have a lot of good effects as well. So that brings us to Dankuzo. Now Dankuzo is going to be most likely a staple in every Pyrus deck, but it's also necessary for a certain combo in our deck here as well. It states when you open a Bakugan, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's not a flip card, you may play it for free. Now this is a really strong effect, and it can get you some really amazing plays. Like for example, if you play Dan and you open your Bakugan, its effect starts, and the top card of your deck is for example Leah Venegas here on screen, which is normally a 10 energy card, so it would be really nice to play it for free. And she states, when you play this, search your deck for a hero card and reveal it, then put it into your hands, shuffle your deck, plus 10 damage to your attacks if you control 5 or more hero cards. So that will be really good, because not only do you play a free hero that normally costs 10, but you also get to search another one, and that could be really good. You can search all your Barbara Kuzo, for example, or your Veronica Venegas, or maybe if you play Commander Trip, which lets you draw a card when you battle. Those are really nice combos in my opinion. Now we also have Barbara Kuzo and Veronica Venegas here. Those are just more examples of just hero cards. You not necessarily have to play them. Barbara Kuzo can be nice for if you run out of cards and you just really need to draw some more, to get a bit more consistency. And Veronica Venegas can be nice if you just lack a bit of damage. It's always nice to have that extra boost there. But there is one more thing I like the Dan and Leah combo with, and that is in the action cards, and that's why I want to start off with the Sky's Hymn. Now the Sky's Hymn is a 1 cost action card for Heos, and it states look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put them on top of your deck in any order, and its domination effect is if your Bakugan holds the most Baku cores, draw a card. Now the domination effect is not what I'm after here, it's the look at the top 3 cards of your deck. This synergizes well with Dan. Let's say for example you have a turn 2 energy OX and a Leah Venegas as your top 3 cards. Now let's say you put Leah Venegas at the top card and you open your Bakugan, then Dan's effect will activate and you get to play your Leah for free, and that's because you put it there. So it's some nice it's some interesting plays. It might not be necessary, but it's a cool combo nonetheless. Then we have turn to energy here. It's a 2 cost action card for Ventus. It says energize this on charge. It just could be nice to get that extra bit of ramp every turn. It might not be necessary, but I think it's most likely going to be a necessary card. And then another card to possibly think about putting in the deck is Wax. Now Wax destroys all enemy evos for 6 energy. Now I know 6 energy is a lot, and you might not always get it to 6 energy, but it might just save you sometimes, because the problem with this deck is you're going to take some damage, because you might start off with the most B power, so you are going to lose some matches, and when it can be nice to just destroy your enemy evolution cards and lower their damage and their B power to a point where you might actually just win a battle. So yeah, that's going to be it for the survival hero deck. I really like this. I really like the concept of the hero cards. It's one of my favorites in the game. It might not necessarily be viable, but it's just a fun deck on the side. And who knows, maybe with a little more playtesting, this could actually become a good deck. I doubt it, but who knows. Well, I want to thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, consider pressing the like and the subscribe button, and possibly share it on Twitter or Facebook. But that will be it for today. I want to thank you very much for watching, and this does Bright out. Bye guys.